In this video tutorial, we are going to build the interactive map that you see on your screen. It shows all FIFA World Cup hosts together with the winners and the respective year. The map supports zoom and pan with the mouse. Users can show image markers, location pins, or labels with styled text. MindFusion script files that we need to reference in our project are part of the JavaScript pack. You can download the trial version as an archive from MindFusion's website or through npm. We have extracted the downloadable archive and we navigate to the UMD folder. It contains all scripts used by the libraries in the pack. We need common collections, controls, drawing, and mapping. We create a new folder for our mapping project and paste the scripts in a subfolder named Scripts. We also need to add at least one mapping theme. We will copy all of them to a folder called Themes. Then we create an empty web page for our application and an empty JavaScript file for coding the app. Let's open our project folder with Visual Studio Code. Let's add the reference to all JavaScript files we've copied in our scripts folder, together with a reference to the JavaScript code behind file. We must create a div element now that represents our map. The size and location of the div specify where and how the big map will be rendered. It is important to add an ID to this div so we can reference it in code. Last but not least, we need to add a reference to a CSS style theme for the map. We choose the standard theme, but it can be anyone different. Now we are ready to code. We add two namespace mappings for the mapping and drawing namespaces. This will make our code easier to read. We create then an instance of the map view class, which is the control that renders a map. We choose for it the standard theme. In order to show a map, we need to have the URL of a TMS, tile map service, and set it to an instance of the map layer class. We use for the sample Stamen Maps, which is a free TMS service. The map layer has a property for giving attribution to the map providers when needed. Let's not forget to add the layer to the layers collection of the view. Now we are going to add a JavaScript array with objects that represent the data for each winner, the geographical coordinates of the host city, the city name, the year, and the winner. The data is taken from the Wikipedia page for the FIFA World Cup finals. Let's create one more layer, a decoration layer, which will render pins on the map at the locations where the host cities are. The decoration layer has many properties. One of them is the decorations list, and we add a marker for each location. We make the layer invisible by default so that the map doesn't get overloaded. Let's call now the load method of the map view that loads a given location in the center of the map, together with a zoom factor. We chose the location of the current FIFA final in Qatar as the start location of the map and a zoom factor of 3. Let's try our map in the browser. Here it is. It loads well. The pins that mark the locations are not visible, but we can show them with a mouse click. Now we will copy the image of the World Cup in a directory called Images. We also need to add a reference to a special Unicode font that we will use to render the flag emojis for the winners. We use the country flag emoji polyfill package, which can be referenced directly through CDN or downloaded from NPM. We add a reference to the font through CDN, and we also add CSS styling to our web page. You can create a style that uses the emoji font to be applied only to the div element that hosts the map. You can also set the font for the whole application, but keep in mind that the browser will use it only for flags. For the other two type of markers, we need to create now two new decoration layers. The first one will mark the locations with the image of the World Cup. The other layer will render formatted HTML bubbles. We create the image markers and the info bubbles in a joint cycle. We go through all locations and create a new bubble, which can render any HTML text. We use the Unicode blocks for country flags to show the flags of the winners using our special emoji font. The image markers are similar to the location pins we create earlier. We just use the image source property of the marker class to specify the location of the image. The layer with the image markers is visible by default. The layer with info bubbles is not visible. Now we can refresh our page and see the two new layers. Here they are. The layer with the images loads by default. We can show the other layers through the Map Layers control. Here is the layer with info bubbles and emoji flags. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your interest in MindFusion Developer Tools.